we're going to go to football, Rob, and we're talking about Gilbrand and some of his comments. But that pales in comparison to what is going on in Washington with the Commanders. They just get a new name, and now that name is being associated with all types of nonsense. Now remember, this is a team that has been investigated for sexual harassment. A team that in that investigation, the NFL said they would not release the findings. It was just be oral
right, which is mind-boggling.
Ludicrous.
Seriously.
Absolutely ludicrous. And because of that, Rob, Congress opened up an investigation. And in the process of doing that investigation, they found some financial issues.
That's why, Chris, people settle things a lot of times because they don't want you to dig through their records and discovery and examining things and email, all kinds of stuff. You will find so much. And now the Commanders are in trouble.
John Gruden lost his job and his reputation as part of the Washington investigation, right? He had nothing to do with it, why they were investigating all that.
Right. He just happened to be sending emails to the general manager of Washington's football team at that time using, the GM's business email. It wasn't a personal chain. It was a couple guys on there, Chris, but it was their work emails, which you do not own. For anybody out there in the business, you don't own that. When you work for a company, you got to understand that. Same thing. If you have a company, Chris, cell phone, whose records are those?
Right.
That's the company owns that.
Right. So anyway, in the process of that investigation by Congress, Rob, what they found is that the Washington Commanders, what they're saying is they engaged in unlawful financial conduct. Here's what they did. NFL teams share the ticket revenue. So visiting teams get a share, right, of the ticket revenue for the stadium they're playing in with the home team. They gave false reports to the other teams about their ticket revenue. So they said it was less than it was. So they had to give those teams less than they should have. And then they also didn't tell their season ticket holders about the refundable ticket deposits that were available to them. So, Rob, we have Dan Snyder, the owner, and his owner organization, one, defrauding other owners and fans.
Which is the biggest sin right there, Chris. You could really stop there, but go ahead.
Having a toxic work environment that is so full of sexual harassment, allegedly, that one woman says she was harassed 50 to 100 times at work. Another estimated she was harassed more than 200 times. Another estimated, Rob, that she was harassed approximately 515 times.
Outrageous.
And another one said every day for 8 years.
Wow.
Why does he still have a team?
That's a good question.
This is cut and dried.
I don't think he's going to have a team.
An open and shut case.
Yeah, I think now we are, Chris. We're there now because the owners are going to be more apt to do something, Chris, because what? It's financial. He tried to cheat them.
Right.
And you also get in trouble with the government when you try to defraud people, the public, of their money, Chris, when you don't allow them to get their refunds that they're entitled to. Yeah. Yeah. Because this is not just an NFL thing. This is as a company, you could pay a fine. You could have your business license revoked, Chris. There's all kinds of damage that can be done to a company when they don't do right by the consumer. You know that.
Yep.
And if there's a class action suit, it might cost you even more money.
Here's a quote, Rob. The committee said emails, documents, and statements made by former employees indicate that team executives and owner Dan Snyder engaged in a, quote, troubling, long-running, and potentially unlawful pattern of financial conduct. Again, look, he got to lose the team. I'm sorry. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm not one for just taking people's teams.
No.
But like I said, the owners, the fans, and the women that work there, what else is there?
Right. And I think you're right that this won't be something you'll be able to wiggle out of. Like he was able to wiggle himself out of the investigation, Chris, because he wasn't named in it, right? That oral investigation, so he was good there. We know there was always flack about that franchise's name. He got away with that until advertisers
that was
said.
A whole exactly.
But until advertisers, Chris, again,
he was
what
ready
happened?
to fight that to the death.
But financially, when the money stopped or the threat of money being stopped, that changed everything. And this is financial, Chris. You will get movement when money is at stake. And NFL owners, remember, it's a club. It's not a birthright. You have to be voted in. Anybody can't own a team. Normally in business, Chris, anybody who has enough money could just buy the business, right?
Right.
The business is worth $200,000. I'm going to give you $1 million. Here you go. You could have it.
Right.
No, it don't work. You still got to get 75% of the owners to vote you in order to be able to be an owner.
Right. So, I don't know what the process will be, but I don't see any other potential outcome for this. They took, what was his name? Jerry Richardson, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, for getting like massages and all. Not that he was right, but from what came out, right, he was getting massages and making little comments.
And it was the same kind of uncomfortable atmosphere, right?
But that wasn't all of this. And I'm not excusing what he did. That was wrong too.
No, I know what you're saying.
That wasn't all of this. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about? And so, yeah, we'll see how this goes down.